Hello everyone, and I am back. Yeah, episode 2. Woo! So, last episode went pretty well. The first one was received very well. One of my friends even named me as a professional yapper. So, yeah, I'm gonna take that up as a name now. Your own friendly neighborhood professional yapper is back for episode 2 of the Toasted Sushi Podcast. Yay! So, this episode, by the title, you would know that it's about my obsession for Japan. The why, when, what, since when, all that stuff. The reason I'm talking about this thing is because it is one of the reasons that I even started this podcast. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, it all started back in 2016, around 8 years ago, when I first started watching anime. My first one was Sword Art Online. Yeah. Even though I only enjoyed the first, back then it was, I think, the first 2 seasons and the Gun Gale Online, the spin off thing. First season of the anime, it came out in 2012. I did watch it back then. And then the second season, I think, came out in 2014. And the third one, which I hadn't seen back then, came out in 2018, 2018. Okay, so in 2016, I watched Sword Art Online, then went on to watch Death Note. And back then, it took me a while to watch anime. Like I would watch one episode a day. That was it. Maybe two. So it take me months to watch anime. So over time, time went by and skip to 2018. Yep, there's a 2 year time skip in this. 2018, I have watched a lot more anime now. I have finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I finished Code Geass. I've watched a bit of Attack on. I have watched the first 1 or 2 seasons, I think, of Attack on Titan. I have been watching Dragon Ball Z. A lot more. I've been watching a lot of anime. And I have been gaining my interest in Japan and like Japanese on it's pretty low back then. Like I was just like, oh yeah, I like anime. Woohoo. Time passes and in 2018 and or 19 I start watching my favorite anime, which is to date to me the greatest anime ever made, to which I hope at least some of you agree. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. And that is the point where my obsession with Japan began. Because when I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion, I was like, "Ooh, that looks cool." So after watching Neon Genesis Evangelion, went as usual, went onto the internet, looked out about it, and just found out how big it is in Japan. Like they appreciate this masterpiece. So time passes, NGE. I've been watching anime over there, and like I think 2018 to 2020 was like when I watched a lot more anime. Like I watched a lot of anime during that time, like till 2020 when like the lockdown hit. Then in lockdown was where I started studying Japanese. Yeah. So 2020 start studying Japanese. At this point, I have watched a lot of anime. I don't have a lot more stuff to watch because at this point I had reached that saturation point kind of where I was like, let's just go back to weekly. Like I went back to weekly anime at that point, like so like once one episode a week kind of thing. And I had like daily one episode max. I had every single day. Of course, when college and stuff was there, it was fine to have one episode a day because I'd be doing other things the entire day. But in lockdown, I was at home the entire day. Being at home the entire day, I was like, you know what? Let's just look around more stuff. I'd just be watching YouTube. That's when I came across a YouTuber, which I hope if you are interested in Japan, go check him out. Called Abroad in Japan. Yeah, Chris Broad. I came across his channel. I started watching Abroad in Japan, and my god, I watched one video, watched another video, and in no time, I had basically watched every single video on his channel. Even today, I have watched every single video on his channel. And then, why stop there? I went on to other channels like Tokyo Lens or Paolo from Tokyo. Just these different people who make content about Japan. I kept watching them over time, because of this, my interest about Japan and the language, everything just kept on increasing. And by the time lockdown ended, my college began. And so by the time lockdown ended, I had watched a lot of shit about Japan. I knew a lot of stuff about Japan. And over time, as I got more proficient in Japanese, I started to listen to Japanese podcasts. It helps your listening. By the way, I'd like to recommend you guys a podcast if you want to improve your Japanese listening. It's called the Yu Nihongo Japanese podcast, something around the lines of that. I still listen to it like when I'm going on a walk. It's a really good podcast. You guys should give it a listen. Like especially for like just casual Japanese listening, it's very good because when you study Japanese in books, the language is very different than what the Japanese people, actually use IRL. So yeah, now I am just planning to somehow get my ass to Japan. That's the dream, and I'm trying to run for it. So, going ahead now, talking about now, me being the Japan obsessed human being, I am still equally, if not more, surrounded by Japan. My everything I do has an inkling of Japan in it. My favorite game is made by a Japanese company, Elden Ring. And I there's another cool thing that I got. I once one of my relatives had been to Japan, or technically my relative's friend. I asked my relative to ask that person to get me some Gundam. Yeah, some Gunpla model kits. And he did. I have two of them now. I have built them. Then back in the day, my friends and I sat and watched anime like Bleach when it was actually airing on TV. We used to watch Bleach. We used to watch things like Golden Time. We played Duel Masters, a Japanese card game. It's basically Yu-Gi-Oh, but less known. So like it's overall just like me being surrounded by Japan even before I knew it. After a while, became natural to me. Like even now in my room, I asked my mom to paint Evangelion Unit 1 on my wall. I have a big ass Evangelion Unit 1 on my wall. I love it to death. It looks so good. Thank you, mother. So it's just overall, I have been up and out and about Japan. There has always been times where I thought that, maybe not. But then it always everything circled back to Japan. The moral of the little story: if you feel that something is meant for you, don't give up on it because it will come back to you. You will keep coming back to that. Like I kept coming back to Japan some or the other way without even knowing. And in the first place, I never took it that seriously. But over time, when I felt, that, oh, everything is connecting me back to this thing, this place. Yeah, there are things called as signs, it's a sign, that, yeah, go for it, dude. You're meant for this. All right, so now let's begin with the weekly anime segment that I guess I talked about it on the last episode where I kind of explained it what I wanted it to be, but I'll still do it again. So basically, this segment will be about the anime that I started watching this week, the ones I ended this week, or just ended in general, and anime that I am currently watching that are still like basically like ongoing anime from this season. So before I get into the first one, I would like to say if the audio sounds a bit different, that is because I've recorded this episode over the span of 2 days. So, as of today, the new next episode of I think episode number 11 of Windbreaker came out, and yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing anime. I've been watching it over the week, like over the past weeks, multiple. It's a really good anime. Like, if I had to explain it in one sentence, I'd say it's Tokyo Revengers but better. Yeah. Main reason being, unlike Tokyo Revengers where it was all about time travel and all that, this story is just rooted into the basics. It's what we thought Tokyo Revengers will be. This is what I expected Tokyo Revengers to be. Unfortunately, Tokyo Revengers went into the whole time travel and stuff, which, like, yeah, in the first two seasons it was fine. After that, it got so repetitive, it got boring. But this, it stays true to that whole, you could say, storyline. Another thing I want to say about this is episode 11. Basically, I'll talk about episode 11 more since I watched it this week. The fight scenes are absolutely phenomenal, not just in this episode, over the other episodes as well. And I'd say it goes on par with one of the best like fight choreography I've seen in anime. That's God of High School. It's on par with that. It's that good. Like they show you these like uh side angle kind of shots where you can see every movement of both the character, like every punch and kick, jump, a backflip, everything. It has that weight to it. Every punch and every kick has that impact to it. It's so well made. It's a very well written story and a better version of Tokyo Revengers. Fingers crossed, hoping that it stays that way. We don't want I don't want this to go downhill like Tokyo Revenge. Next one, Go Go Loser Ranger. A very good take on the whole Power Rangers thing. Like, we have all been watching Power Rangers, most of us have growing up, and watching it from the other side in a completely different way. That, like watching Go-Go Lou Ranger makes you feel, what if all these Power Rangers, these every single series that was out there, what if that was similar, what if at some point this is what was happening? Maybe all of it was fake. It's a really cool concept, and they're doing it very well. Do they drag things a little bit? Yes. I feel like the story is being dragged out a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, the story, the entire concept of the anime covers up for it. So I'm all up for it. I'm all up to watching. I'm probably gonna watch the entire thing. You should too. Next one, Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. It's a decent anime. It's a generic one. Okay, it's a generic storyline. It's good though. It's decent. It's a one of those anime that you're like, yeah, I just want to watch something. So you just watch that. A new episode. You're like, yeah, sure. I've watched. I think this is the third season. I think so. I watched the first two seasons. I was like, you know what? I've watched the first two. I'll just watch this one as well. Fine. Alright, so the next one is I was reincarnated as the seventh prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. It's not for everyone. It's 100% not for everyone. The main character makes you feel you're watching something you shouldn't. That the story in itself, like how, again, the main character is overpowered. It's again reincarnation anime again, so it's nothing new. It's not a new anime, like a new story. It's just has one different thing about it. That's it. That's mostly how these kind of anime go. Like, oh, I was reincarnated as this. They all have the basic same story, just one point of them that's different. That's how they do it. So the different part about this is the main character, who is both a shota and a lolly at the same time. There's also a lot of fan service, so be careful when you watch it. Next one, we have Chillin' in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers. Again, another isekai anime. Is it generic? Very. Am I watching it? Yes. Why? The intro is too cute. The story is generic, but hey, I'll watch generic shit. I watch generic shit. Am I waiting for every single episode to come out? No. I miss episodes, but then I catch up whenever I get time. These animes are like the last pick for me. Like, if I am not interested in anything else, oh, I'll just go for this. So not a lot to say about it. It's alright. Okay. If you like isekai, watch it. I'd still say the Seventh Prince one is better than this one because it has something different about. Next one, the one a lot of us know about, Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc. I have read the manga, so for me nothing is surprising because I have read the manga. I have watched a lot of UFO Table's work. It's nothing surprising. It's good to watch. Okay, it's just good to watch. It's fun to watch. Since I've read the manga, the story doesn't excite me as much. I have watched UFO Table's work, so UFO Table has done much better work with Fate. By the way, watch Fate. So yeah, it's good. It's good. It's decent. Would I recommend to watch it? Yeah. Watch the entirety of Demon Slayer or go read the manga. Manga is so much better. Next one, the seventh season of My Hero Academia. Why are we on 7 seasons? Like, they could have made life so much easier by just having one show, Why do you have 7 seasons and like 3 movies? Have one show and 3 movies. Look at One Piece. It's at 1,000 episodes. It takes breaks. You can take breaks. Just turn it into one show. Go to like season 7, and we're gonna go up from here. Because I am sure there are gonna be like at least 9 seasons to this thing. Or 10, I don't know, because there is a lot of story to for them to animate. I have read the manga to some extent, so I kind of know. Like, okay, next one. That time I got reincarnated as a slime season 3. I love this anime. Okay, it's probably one of the best isekai out there after Mushoku Tensei. Main reason being how OP Rimuru is. The main character is called Rimuru, and the way they show him, he's not one of those who like, yeah, I'm overpowered, and he's not smug about it. He's just a cute ass main character who's also very overpowered. His character is made pretty well. So are the other characters like Shion, then Soe, then the other one, the red ogre. I forgot about his name. I forgot his name. His name Benimaru, yeah. Then there's Diablo, Veldora, Ranga, Shuna, Shion, Soe, Milim. Amazing characters. And I can't wait for further seasons because they haven't even scratched the surface of this anime. There is still so much more remaining. So, moving forward, we have another one that people have had been waiting for, Kaiju number 8. Yeah, the manga in the beginning, like when the manga first came out, it was huge. The manga was huge. Everyone was waiting for the announcement for this to be animated, which I think they later on did. Like, oh, we are going to animate it, but we got nothing after that. And eventually, yeah, we now have this. Okay, they have told us that, oh, this the first season's got to be 12 episodes. It's doing well. I like it. It's pretty damn good. Even though I have heard that the manga has gone downhill, if anyone listens to this and knows about the Kaiju number 8 manga, what's happening there? Can you guys like put it in the comments or something? Like, why has it gone downhill? It looks pretty good right now. And next one is the one that I am currently watching is The GOAT, my second favorite anime. One Piece. One Piece is in Egghead right now. I think I have to watch the latest episode yet. The 1105. I have to watch that one. The one that came this week, I have yet to watch it, but it's One Piece. Okay, it's peak. If you haven't watched it, do it. Watch it. Okay, there's nothing else I want to say. It's peak. Go watch it. Next, the anime that I started this week, and it's an old one, a rather old one. The reason I started it was because I watched the Netflix. On Netflix, I watched the live action adaptation of it. So I thought, if I'm watching the live action, I'd rather just watch the original work. That anime is Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I started watching Yu Yu Hakusho, or as the English name goes, which I absolutely hate, Ghost Files. Anyway, whatever. The anime itself, Yu Yu Hakusho, is really good. I think it's by the same person who wrote Hunter x Hunter. Also, an anime that I haven't finished actually. Yeah, I haven't finished Hunter x Hunter. I will. Yes, Yoshihiro Togashi, the writer of Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yu Yu Hakusho. It's really good. It's got the similar art style of Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, just if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Now, going on to the ones that I am not actually watching, but they are still good. First one is Konosuba, Cosplaying on This Wonderful World. The third season, I think. Yeah, third season. I haven't even finished the first season or the second one, but I know that it's a good anime. I just am not in the mood for that kind of an anime. Okay, I will watch it when I feel like it, I guess. Like when I get the vibe of it, because it's an isekai anime. I've already had enough isekai. I don't want more isekai. So yeah. Next one is Spice and Wolf, which is I think a remake of the original Spice and Wolf. The original one that came out in 2008 has two seasons. I've heard it's amazing. The original one. I have no clue how the new one is. Haven't heard anything. It's got an 8.16 on my anime list, so looks decent. Next one, The Misfit of Demon King Academy 2, Part 2. So the Part 2 of Season 2. Oh, I see. They're doing the Attack on Titan thing. Give their seasons also parts, which I hate. Season 4. Just do that. Look at My Hero Academia. Even if they're doing that, at least they're being true to it. They're not doing the dumb shit of turning your seasons into parts. Like a 12 episode part is stupid. Two 12 episode parts, that's one regular season. I get it if it's like 24 and 24. That makes sense. This doesn't make sense. So, yeah, but overall the anime is pretty decent. It's a power trip anime, the main character being hella OP, that kind of anime. If you like that kind of stuff, if you are a Dragon Ball Z enjoyer, you might like it. Yeah. So next one, what else do we have? I also know that Black Butler has come back with the public school arc. I am interested in it. I will watch it once I finish Yu Yu Hakusho. I will finish the original Black Butler, and then continue on with this because this is a continuation to it. So yeah, if that is, it's also a really cool anime. Do watch Black Butler. It's an OG. And then finally, before I end this anime segment, let's talk about the anime that ended. I think last week it ended, or did it? Yeah, it ended last week. I think it ended last week, or like and that is Mushoku Tensei, the second season of Mushoku Tensei, the part two of the second season again. Why? It's 12 episodes. It doesn't matter. Just turn it into one season of 24 episodes. Take breaks. It's fine. Don't do this. Why are you making shit complicated? I don't understand, bro. Why are you making this shit more complicated? Just keep it simple, man. So, yeah, it ended. And yeah, it's pretty damn good. Okay, it's Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei has always been a good anime. Okay, I thoroughly enjoy it. Okay, the story is, it's refreshing. It's a refreshing take on isekai. It's one of the best takes on isekai. If you haven't watched it, do it. Just do it. And especially if you like isekai, you need to watch this because it goes into some deep shit. That's also one of the reasons I like the anime, because it goes into all these deep things, deep you could say, all these deep concepts. Another one, the anime that I love to my heart is also similar to this, and that is Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't even watch it as a mecha anime. Like, watch it as a psychological thriller, and you will have a completely different view of the anime. Watching it as a mecha anime has a completely different vibe. Watching it as a psychological thriller has a different vibe to it. You should watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. You should watch Mushoku Tensei and watch Demon Slayer. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I guess that's it. That's that for this episode. Next episode, I will go back. This will come back. The whole anime segment will come back. I will also add a bit of esports into the next episode. The reason being, Valorant champions, no, Masters Shanghai has begun. So I'll have a lot more to talk about it at that point. Right now, it literally like began yesterday, so I don't have a lot to talk about it. One reason being, I haven't watched any of the matches. It's the afternoon usually when I'm studying or watching anime. So yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll watch more matches, and next week we will talk about it. And right now a match should be going on, so I'll go watch it, and I'll see you guys next week where we'll talk a lot more about esports, and we'll go back to anime. We'll have more stuff. I'll cover everything so everyone can have fun. We'll cover Japan. We'll cover esports. We will cover anime. We'll do everything. Okay. So I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.